Welcome to summer. First official day of summer is today, which means later this morning we will give you this. You tell us, is this a firework or a gunshot? Because we're officially in that time of the year where everyone hears pops in the middle of the night in their neighborhood and starts asking, is that gunshot, is that firework? That could score you some prizes from us later this morning. Of course, we also have the key coming up. Can't say when or where because I'm done teasing it, but if you want to go to the socials and get your details, go to KROQ or Klein Alley Show. And right now, your news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News. You know what I feel like? Soup. It's definitely a soup day.
It's the first day of
not
summer.
soup
It's
day.
not. Even I can say that.
What an idiot.
And I love a soup. All right. After the show yesterday, Johnny explained to us this new military draft bill.
Oh, he's freaking out. Johnny is freaking out,
Oh,
guys.
don't say this story, man. I can't hear any more about the draft, man. I'm already scared as is.
It made it crystal clear to me that you do not know anything about what's actually happening and that there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I just wanted to explain what's actually going on.
Johnny saw a meme with SpongeBob that explained the draft, and he goes, oh, man, I got to move to Canada.
They're drafting fish.
Yeah, he's really freaked out.
So a bill passed in the House that automatically registers men between 18 and 25 for selective service. It does not draft or automatically enlist anyone in the military. It simply registers you automatically instead of having to do it yourself. So if you ever wanted to go into the service, you're already registered, you're already in the
But guys
system.
named Johnny are definitely going to go to war.
Of course.
Everyone named Johnny,
bro.
not Jonathan,
Stop,
must fight.
Stop, no, don't give them ideas because they actually will call the station and draft me, dude.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's right.
That's what they
Call
will
an
do.
800 number.
We need America's dumbest.
They got to take the ROTC kids in high school and let those kids go first, man.
You remember what Uncle
Okay.
Sam said? We want you, I guess, if you're
We want you, Johnny.
Johnny.
So this hasn't passed in the Senate yet. So if it does, like, the Senate has to pass it for anything to change. Now, something that was just added was adding women to the draft. Now listen to this.
Hasn't been a military draft since 1973. The argument for women being a part of the draft comes from experts who say it's, quote, necessary and fair to make the draft talent unified in the event of a national emergency.
So it's more like an equal opportunity thing. We don't want to only draft the guys. We're going to potentially draft the women too because we want anybody to be able to join that wants to join.
That's intimidating.
So, Johnny, they are not taking children from their homes and throwing them onto the front lines
think
like everyone's saying on TikTok.
But I think if you draft Johnny, the women will volunteer. You just got to get Johnny in there. Then the women will
You
come
got to
running.
get one hot
Right.
Johnny soldier.
Yeah, you get Johnny right there.
Allison, oh, my bad. Did you hear about, are the transgender people going in too? And the
Johnny, none of what you said yesterday is accurate.
But the TikTok said that the transgender and the disabled people are getting drafted first, too.
First.
First? Why would they draft them first? Why would they draft any children, first of all? And somebody who cannot pass the testing can't be in the military.
But the guy on TikTok said equal rights, equal fights.
The guy on TikTok is not the news, Johnny, and not the House of Representatives or the Senate.
But
I'm
still more
telling
accurate
you.
than Alley.
That's true.
All right.
That might
Well,
be true.
yes, that's true.
The guy on TikTok is Johnny's reference for the actual news. Well, there you have it.
I saw a thing in Rolling Stone that said Gen Z is freaking out over the draft because
Right.
of TikTok
and
misinformation.
Johnny is friend. Johnny is exactly what we're talking about. He is freaking out.
Yeah. So no one's getting drafted right now, Johnny. All right.
Johnny thought about rolling in here in a wheelchair today because he thought that he was not draftable. He was
Yeah, that
all
makes him
excited.
more draftable.
I know. Now he's the first one to go.
Today is the official start of summer. It's also the official start of crappy electric bill season. And 75% of people, according to a new study, are not prepared for the increase, even though it happens every year. Nobody saves any money for it or prepares for it in any way. And almost half of America will have to make adjustments like eating out less or cutting back on entertainment and fun in order to cover the cost of the rising energy bill.
Of all of the things that you have to spend money on in your life, and there's a lot of things that you just have to buy, toilet paper, have to buy, stuff like that. Paying the electricity bill is my least
It sucks.
favorite thing.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because A, it's already happened. By the time you get the bill, you've already experienced. It's not like you're prepaying.
You've spent the energy. There's
You've
no
already had the
way
energy.
to go back.
Now, I do love air conditioning. In theory, I love air conditioning. Lights are not my friend. I look better in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
So that, we'll call that a wash. But the AC, I love it. But paying for it, man, that is why when you're at a hotel, you're in a grocery store, I wish you could just store additional AC in your skin.
Yeah.
And release it later.
So here's the thing. Between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m., just turn your house into an igloo. And then at 5 a.m. when the electric bill goes up, just cut it all down, close all the shades and windows and everything, and insulate.
Hey, Rudy.
Hey, Sweet Divots.
Sweet Divots.
Calling in, to calm Johnny down because he's got nothing to worry about. All it is just to have your name if anything happens in the draft. It's not like they're going to take you. Anything you see on TikTok is all lies, dude, because I used to be a recruiter.
You used to be a recruiter, and a guy like Johnny wouldn't pass the test?
Oh, the way he answers stuff and doesn't know things, I doubt it. Maybe they'll give him a waiver so he could be a cook, but other than that,
All right, dude. Hell yeah. Chef Boyardee every day.
It's jars of peanut butter again, soldiers. Thank you for your service.
Klein, Alley, Show! Mornings on KROQ.
106.7 KROQ.
What's going on in the world? Time for your ADD news here at KROQ.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News. Se habla español.
Hola!
Oh, wait, we don't.
All right, it's happening more and more. Now you walk around your neighborhood and you notice a bush that wasn't there the day before, looks kind of weird, looks suspicious, and then you discover that's not a bush, that is a hidden camera that's disguised to look like a bush. More and more of them are popping up. There was just a new one in Garden Grove, and the picture of it is like...
So janky. It's like
so janky.
It's funny. It's like a kid's school project where they had to make something out of leaves, but then in the middle of it is a camera.
It looks like they put a toilet paper roll around a camera and then put tape leaves to it.
Right. It looks way more suspicious than had they just put the camera there. The fact that they did that crappy art project, the idea was hide the camera. This is actually really freaky, and because cameras are so cheap now, especially the wireless ones that you can just hook up to your phone. You can buy them for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 cameras for, I don't know, a couple $100, if that. And then you hide them around houses, and then you just monitor people coming and going and be like, they're out. Let's go rob the place.
The idea is that originally burglars had to case a place in person. And you had to case a neighborhood. It would take a long time. Maybe some of it panned out. Maybe some of it didn't. But this way, if you put 20 different hidden cameras out, you can case 20 places at once or 20 neighborhoods at once. And then you really can zero in and get a good robbing.
They're working
on a
smarter,
few people.
not harder.
Exactly.
That's the
thing.
idea.
So they said, of course, don't ever put one of those fake hidden keys outside. They have a whole list of tips here that you're supposed to do. If you spot a suspicious vehicle, you need to write down the license plate and report it.
But what vehicle isn't suspicious? This is what, anytime you see it.
There are suspicious vehicles. Come on.
Like a windowless van used to be everyone's idea of a suspicious vehicle. But also that is the number one vehicle that, painters use that.
Or a car that's just parked in your neighborhood with people in it that are just sitting there.
A car with people? Oh, my God.
Well, in a regular, quote, suburban neighbor quiet street or whatever, if there are 2 people that are just sitting there in a car and it looks like they've been there a long time and they're not going in and out.
And also, the car is in your neighborhood.
Yes.
It's like if something feels out of place, I think, you should call.
I move far too often to know the cars in my neighborhood.
That's true.
Everyone is
Klein
a stranger.
is the suspicious
I'm
car.
the suspicious car.
We should have you drive to a neighborhood and then sit there and see how long it takes for people to call the cops.
Oh my God, with that mustache, 5 minutes.
All right.
Less.
Let's do it. That'll be fun.
What a fun experiment.
I just want to hear the 911 calls and how people describe this mustache.
Another tip was to keep trees and bushes well trimmed so they don't become hiding spots.
I mean, it's just wild. But I guess if be on the lookout. I
got to trim this bush, otherwise the thieves will get it.
We should get all those old men that are walking around the beach with those stupid metal detectors that aren't finding anything and send them into the neighborhoods to look for these cameras that apparently are popping up everywhere.
All right, this summer, the heat waves are going to be a bitch, and they are not just a bitch for you, they're a bitch for your pets. So as a warning, meteorologists are encouraging all dog owners to use the 7-second rule before you take your dog out for a walk. And I thought this... Oh.
Is that the bitch you're talking about?
No, but that works too. I thought the 7-second rule was more about like eating things off the floor, but this is a different one. So when you're about to take your dog out for a walk, you have to press your hand onto the hot concrete.
Go ahead.
For 7 seconds.
Nothing. All right. I like that.
And if it burns the crap out of your hand within 7 seconds, it's too hot for your dog's paws. But you theoretically would burn the crap out of your hand most days doing the 7-second rule. And then eventually, if you do the 7-second rule every day for a long period of time, wouldn't you just burn your fingerprints off and then somehow develop a callus to it?
Then you could commit a crime. You got the fingerprints. Beautiful.
And then go back to the hidden cameras.
Right back to that. I do see people that shame people now that have dogs that are walking around when it's hot out. And they do put
don't
up the
know
signs,
what-
and they say if it's 100 degrees outside, the temperature of the street could be 140 degrees. But if you're walking the dog on the hot asphalt street, that's a little different than if you're going sidewalk or, stranger's
and
yard.
haven't they tried to change some of the streets to, I feel like last summer there was like a different kind of concrete they were using that was like self-cooling. Wasn't there something like that was going on?
I don't think so. Maybe, but it seems like a test program. All I know is I got a dog, I got a leash, I got poop bags, and I still am getting shamed because I don't have special shoes for the dog.
Would you rather be shamed for the hot pavement or the dog shoes?
The shoe. I would much rather be shamed for the hot pavement. I don't want someone to be like, you bought your dog shoes, you loser.
Exactly.
I'm not doing that.
I said this was coming when the fast food cheap wars began. I said this is going to seep into other areas of our lives, and someday it will reach the airlines. This is the beginning of what I hope will be a big summer trend. JetBlue has announced that they are going to stop charging basic economy passengers for their carry-on bags.
Finally.
This is how it all starts. Every airline at the beginning was offering different discounts and perks to try and lure you into their airline. Then one airline just started charging for bags, and then it all went downhill from there, and it just takes one airline to start the cheap wars, and we are all going to be the ones who win.
Yeah, this is great. Right now, everything feels expensive. Give it a few months.
Klein Alley Show. Klein Alley Show.
KROQ, the world famous KROQ.
KROQ, Klein Alley Show. First thing we do after your news is get into a little round of firework or gunshot. It's Southern California's favorite game to play this time of year. Also, Allie, some questions about tomorrow and our appearance at the Dave & Buster's Hollywood and Highland at noon.
Hey, so Deborah, guys, Allie, will you be singing the national anthem?
He said sweet debits, I believe.
Will you be singing the national anthem to kick off your guys' basketball competition this Friday?
Yes.
Also, can we add Allie's neighbor Ray to Gary and Johnny's karaoke?
Karaoke. We could do karaoke with Ray.
I think Ray would actually be great with karaoke.
Yeah, get him to Dave & Buster's tomorrow.
It'd be kind of cool to have Ray and Allie sing their song live there on Friday. Anyways, love the show. Congratulations, Bird.
Thank you, Bird. And, that'll be tomorrow. Dave & Buster's Hollywood. If you want to come hang out, we bring a lot of prizes to give out. And, of course, we'll be gambling. And One-Armed Gary will be there for some karaoke. And Blind Charlie to see if he can beat any of us in basketball. It's going to be great. That's all happening tomorrow. Details up on our socials at Klein Alley Show. Here's your news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News. And I'm glad no one knows about my herpes. Oops.
Omar, I think we finally found something that will get you interested in baseball.
All right.
Think about getting into the ballpark on a sunny summer day. Instead of paying $20 for a crappy beer, you can instead overpay slightly for a weed beverage and feel a nice buzz that way while you watch the game. Thoughts?
I think if I was super stoned, I think it would make it so much more bearable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, longer feeling maybe, though. Those 9 innings could feel like 18 innings.
No, but I would find everything funny.
Yeah.
When I get high, I find everything extremely funny.
It becomes your own version of Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This is hilarious.
I got a trampoline weed.
I think that the biggest mistake Omar makes about baseball and why he thinks it's so boring is he's thinking about going there to actually watch the game. I think that when the game is your background.
No. When I go to the game, it's fine if I physically go there. But watching it on TV is just extremely laborious.
But that's how it has to be when you watch it, too. It has to just be going on in the background.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, other things, you're talking to people, you're having good conversation.
And then boom, a hit, and then it's exciting.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The ones that's most boring for is the ones that are playing.
This ballpark that's doing the weed, they're bored out of their mind. They do look bored. Baseball players in the field look bored out of their
They're
mind.
spitting,
Yeah,
chewing,
because they're
scratching
bored.
things.
Yeah.
And, this stadium that's doing this is in Portland, right?
Yeah, so it's a college level league, and it's the Portland Pickles. And they have announced this is a first. I mean, baseball and beer have gone hand in hand for 140 years.
Right.
But this is the first team that is partnering with a company called Cycling Frog, and they are releasing a light seltzer and a passion fruit and lemon version of their hemp-based drinks that contain 2 milligrams of THC and 4 milligrams of CBD. So it's
you have to buy so many of those to feel a buzz.
light.
Jesus.
But anytime I've gone to a weed bar where they have weed drinks, they're cheaper than a regular drink. It's cheaper
Yeah.
than like a vodka soda.
Yeah.
So you do feel like you can kind of drink several of them and have a pretty good gut buzz going. And if you pop an edible when you get to the park too, that's even better.
Yeah, what's interesting though, more than anything, is that for the first time in the history of baseball, at any sort of a professional stadium, even though it's not Major League Baseball, they are now selling a marijuana product.
Yeah.
That is the part that's interesting.
Yes,
because
and
it's-
will other leagues begin to jump on the trend?
in certain states, yes, and I think California will hopefully. Well, they get all weird about baseball being all family friendly and I don't know. I could see them saying they wouldn't do it, but they do sell a lot of beer. I mean,
Anyone can be family friendly when they're high.
yeah, I'm the family friendliest.
Kids,
when I'm
Dude,
high.
they need to mellow out the crowds at those games, especially like, the rivalry games. People getting, shot and punched in the face and all that.
People get drunk and hit each other. People get
Yeah.
stoned and just laugh.
Yeah, I
Totally.
agree. Start doing that. Pump
All
it
right.
in.
Is it aliens or is it just an elaborate prank? If you remember a few years ago, these mysterious 10-foot silver monoliths were popping up all over the world. There was one at a desert in Utah. There was one on a California mountaintop, a forest in Romania, the Isle of Wight off the coast of England, which is where Wet Leg is from. You know that island, Klein, that they
Yeah.
had to step off the island and it was pretty expensive.
That's what I heard one time.
But now there's a new one for the first time in years. This one popped up in Vegas, and it's just like the other ones. It had appeared out of nowhere overnight. There were no obvious tracks around it, and one would think that something like that would cause a huge mess to get in place. But then there are other residents saying this thing has been up for a while, and I see it almost every week. So there's many more questions than answers as usual with the mysterious monoliths.
This week in alien news, there's someone from Harvard, or a few people from Harvard, I guess, made the statement that they believe aliens are already here and walking among us, cloaked as humans, and then the monoliths are popping up again, and then there's Omar's cousin who sent that delicious-looking alien cake. So we got three
Yep.
things.
That was the real deal, man.
And then this audio was recovered. So that's
So much
gotta-
There's
proof.
evidence.
That's a lot of evidence.
And then finally, there is a new most expensive house in California for $210 million. There is a
I can't believe this guy has that kind of money.
Malibu mansion sold. This is now a record-breaking $210 million. It's the most expensive home in California now, and it is the founder of Oakley.
Yep.
Oakley sunglasses.
All those sweet sunglasses that have been around a while. That guy is minting money. He had a 200 and sold the most
Dude.
expensive house. 200. He sold it. So that, I don't who knows how much that guy made on that, but good for the Oakley guy. Man, I'm
I
jealous.
didn't even think those existed anymore. But I
Yeah,
guess it
they're
doesn't
around.
matter.
They're all over the place.
I mean, that listener went to the pawn shop and sold a pair of Oakleys for $20.
$20.
Got some
We
beer
heard
money. I guess they're still worth something.
Get into a brand new hour of the show. Let's give you this one first, though. Put you in a good summer mood. This is the new M&M, but it's also throwback vintage M&M, and it's called Houdini. Ta-da! Hey, thanks for checking out some of our radio show on KROQ. Just between you and me, we're about to fire Allie, so hopefully you didn't get used to her too much. But thanks for checking it out, and we appreciate you checking out the live radio show. And nothing.
But you're filming something. Aren't they supposed to be involved in this?
We're not filming anything.
There's a camera right there.
Just part of the. Bye.